Welcome to the Arena Podcast, the only podcast that deals with sports in an arena. I don't know. That was bad, right?
I mean, that's a terrible intro. What kind of the only podcast deals? Oh my goodness, that's a terrible way to start this.
You know what it is. I'm kind of trying to find organically a tagline for our podcast. We still don't have one.
It'll come.
I guess it'll come and stuff. Anyway, folks, I am Walt, and I'm joined by, as always, considering this is our second podcast, Gabe.
Right? Hey, what's up, everyone?
What's going on? You are, just out of curiosity, are you watching we're taping on Monday night? Are you watching the Monday Night Football game?
I'm not watching it, but I am following the score. I see that the Steelers are putting the beating in the hurts on the Browns. What is it, 13-0 right now?
Yeah, it's 13-0 right now. Mayfield is having a disappointing game, much like his disappointing season this year. Yeah. The one thing I wanted to mention of this game, aside from the fact that this is Roethlisberger's last game in Heinz Field, right, in Pittsburgh and stuff.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they are still, quote unquote, in the hunt for a playoff spot. What is it, like 2%? I think they have a chance.
I don't know, but with the way that this season's been going, everybody seems to have a shot at the playoffs. So,
but the thing that really cracked me up. So I've been watching this game from the beginning, and you can tell that they really just don't give a you know what, because they've already gone for two in the first quarter alone. They went for 2 fourth down plays. Ben is throwing the ball all over the place. Let me just give you this halftime stat, which I found interesting. Mayfield is 4-15 for 58 yards, an interception, and 2 sacks. Okay, it gets better. Big Ben, 1 TD, 1 interception. He's been sacked once. This is at halftime. He is 20 of 34 for 96 yards. Now, unpack that. He's thrown the ball in the first half 34 times. He's halfway on his way to 70, but he only has 96 yards.
96. Oh God! That if anything, that's indicative of this season, this NFL season.
It's crazy
for a lot of teams out there. 2 in particular over here in the Northeast.
Yeah,
which I think we'll get into. Yeah, we'll get into.
We have to.
I don't want to, but we have to.
Yeah,
I mean, after all, it's what we're in here for.
You have your gripe, I have my gripe. But we'll talk about them later.
Real quick, before we get into the thing, how do you feel about Baker Mayfield? Do you like Baker Mayfield? How do you feel about him as a quarterback, as a Brown?
He is not what I think people expected him to be.
Oh, that's for sure.
And I think I would let's put it this way. I would not be surprised if the Browns find another quarterback at the end of this year.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised either. I also don't think that Baker Mayfield actually really even wants to be there. So I don't know. I like him as a quarterback. I just don't think that he's in the right arena. I guess
there you go.
He's not on the right squad. I don't think he has the right people around him they got some good players, but I don't think they got synergy. But then again, it's the Browns. When have they ever had good synergy? So
I mean,
I feel like he's underutilized.
This team is really a team that the sum of its parts is lesser than the greater of its whole. Did I even say that right?
I have no idea, but it sounded good to me.
Okay, they have really good players at pretty much every position. They just don't mesh. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? I'll take Baker Mayfield over here in New York. So
listen. I could probably find a guy on the street that could probably pay quarterback better than what you've got right now.
Yeah, as far as our backups go.
Yeah. We're going to talk about them in a bit because I think we really, really need to get into that. But let's talk about two legends that have passed just recently. I'm talking about John Madden, and I'm also talking about Dan Reeves. And I don't know if this is just me and my personal feelings or whatever, but it almost seems like Dan Reeves is kind of getting slighted because of John Madden. You know,
He is, but John Madden is such a
yeah, he's huge.
he's huge, not just physically speaking, but he's just such a larger than life character. He's brought football to the masses. He's made I think I would credit him with single handedly bringing the younger generation into the
Absolutely,
households and stuff like that just off of the John Madden games.
yeah.
So that alone, I think, has made football and his name synonymous in a household name with football itself. So,
I mean,
it doesn't matter. I joke, but it could have been Mother Teresa, and John Madden still would have overshadowed her. So
yeah, that is true. I mean, you're talking about a guy who I think currently right now has the highest winning percentage as a coach. And the thing about it is that he has not only been successful in the coaching arena. You also have to look at his broadcasting. He won 16 Emmys. He's been on four networks.
he also,
He's
I mean, that's the thing. That's what makes him a legend. Not only is he a legend on the field as a coach, with the Raiders. I think that he created the persona of the Raiders by the way that they played, by the way that he
for
coached them.
sure. Yeah,
Uh, but he also changed color commentary. He made color commentary. He made the analysis commentary what it is today, where we now always have to have the actual play-by-play commentary and then the analysis. The analysis guy is the person that everyone really, listens to and watches games for. And I think that he single-handedly created that that industry. And I'm not just talking about
yeah,
obviously football. I think that that's across all sports. I think that every sport, every color commentating team tries to capture the the essence that Madden was with a mic.
yeah.
So
Absolutely. And you go and transition that, and like you mentioned, video games, the impact that his name has had on the video game genre and football in particular. I mean, you know, I still remember playing the first man in football, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing. And you hear the color commentary coming through the screen, and you're playing a video game. But it's more than that because we've gotten into the Madden curse in terms of
I know, right?
the
The
covers and
cover,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
For a while, if you were on the cover of Madden, you either sucked that season, you got injured, right? And you even look nowadays where players are actually referencing Madden and wondering what their ratings are going to be in the game when the game comes out. I mean,
right,
that's impactful right there. So John Madden was a legend like no other. I mean,
yeah,
he, like you said, Mother Teresa, God forbid, passes away and stuff like that, and it's still John Madden.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
so larger than life. um but we also have to talk about Dan Reeves because he is no slouch either. I mean, um
I'll admit, I don't know much about Dan Reeves. I
well,
don't
Dan
know too
Reeves,
much about Dan Reeves.
I will inform you a little bit with him because he was probably a little bit before your time, but he started out with the Broncos coaching. I mean, he was a player before. I believe he was a receiver, but he is most well known in terms of coaching for being the Denver Broncos coach. And he did have a career after that. I mean, after he left the Broncos, he did go to the Giants for a couple of years. I think he uh, he took over the job from Hanley. I don't know if you remember that guy, but
Do not.
he was not a good coach. He took over that team. That team was good at the very beginning. I think they went 11-5 in his first season, if I remember correctly. But then they kind of tailed off. He was fired, and then he went to Atlanta, and he took Atlanta to a Super Bowl also.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's what I recognize most of him.
Yeah.
For the
So
Falcons.
he will always be linked in my mind anyway with John Elway because he was John
Right.
Elway's coach. They went to 3 Super Bowls, and unfortunately, Dan Reeves is going to be remembered as the guy who reached 4 Super Bowls and lost all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and with the Broncos, some of
He's the
them,
Brett
and
Favre. He's the Brett Favre of coaching,
yeah, and he lost some
unfortunately.
in spectacular fashion with the Broncos. And ironically enough, when he made it uh, with Atlanta, I think they were 14-2 in that Super Bowl season. That's also the season where he had his quadruple bypass surgery.
Oof.
But 14-2, and he ended up going up against the Broncos with the coach that replaced him in Denver
Oh man,
and
that's
lost
gotta suck.
and
That's gotta
lost.
be so hard,
So yeah, I think
dude.
it was Mike Shanahan who beat him, you know.
Oh crap.
So yeah, but he didn't have the greatest career with the Giants, but he's still a
But I
Hall of
know that
Fame coach.
he had a decent tenure with the Giants. He was with them for what, 6 years, something like that.
I believe so. I let me see if I can
Let
find
me see
it
if I can look that
here.
up.
Um,
We need a guy. We need a guy on the computer.
yeah, I
A
know we
third guy that
really
can be
do.
like the stat guy. You know.
Yeah, so the first year Ray Hanley had a 6-10 season. He came in and took the Giants to, like I said before, 11-5 record, beat the Minnesota Vikings in the wild card, but they lost in the divisional round. But then after that, he really didn't do all that well because his teams with the Giants were 20-28 in the next 3 years, and he was fired at the end of that last season. So he his like I said, he made his bones in Denver and Atlanta. Um, Unfortunately, the Giants didn't do it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
him.
And just to
But
correct that, he was only with them for 3 years. I just realized 93 to 96
there you go. You know,
before
so
he went to the Falcons. But yeah, um, I mean,
77 years old.
yeah,
77 years old.
but
But
still a very storied career.
yeah,
Even though making it to the Super Bowl at
that's an
all is an
accomplishment.
it's an accomplishment, it's an
Oh,
achievement. Making it
absolutely.
4 times across 2 teams, it's is also still a huge accomplishment. I think that there people are pining to have him included into the Hall of Fame posthumous. So someone like that, someone that's made it, especially from a coaching perspective, I think you know he deserves a recognition, even
Yeah,
if he never got the chip.
and a disciple of Tom Landry, just to note. So it's unfortunate that we lost 2 legends in one
I
week.
know, man. I
So,
know. I know.
but there it is. Um, let's talk some football, man. I mean, football this
Do we
week.
really? Do we really have to? Do we
Football
absolutely,
this
really,
weekend
really
has
have
been
to?
bonkers, bonkers. I tell you. I mean, you look at the stuff that happened with some of the games this weekend. You had Baltimore, who is have been struggling with Lamar Jackson out. I think they've lost. They were 8-3. They've lost 5 in a row because Lamar Jackson isn't there, which shows how important he is. The problem with them, and I don't know if you've been following them,
I have not.
Coach Harbaugh of the team in 2 of those games decided to go for 2-point conversions instead of kicking the field goal, and because of that, he lost 2 games. So you look at the Ravens now, who are, I believe, officially out of the playoffs at 8-8. They can conceivably be 10-6 right now if he had made those coaching decisions go the other way. So,
Well, real quick though, the Dolphins are 8-8. Where do they stand on the playoff run? Are they also out? Or do they still have a chance?
so the Dolphins won what, 7 straight, and
They
this
won
is
7 straight. They just lost against the Titans, I believe.
and that's how savage the NFL is because 7 straight, you lose one and you're out. They are
They're out.
They are
They're
done for the
done.
playoffs.
There's no mathematical possibility that they can
They
make
are
it. Oh
gone.
my god, that sucks because that would have been that. That would have been a heck of a story.
Yeah,
I
but
was
hey,
kind of rooting for them since I have nobody to root for over here in New York.
next year. Um, officially, if we look at the teams that are on the bubble in the AFC, it's the Raiders at 9-7. It's the Steelers who are playing today at 7-1, and it's the Baltimore Ravens. They still have a mathematical chance, but I believe the last time I checked, it's like 1%. They literally have to have everybody lose in front of them.
So
So,
you're saying there's a chance?
well, listen, Lamar Jackson is going to try and play next week. So, hey, stranger things have happened, right?
Chances. Well, speaking of strange things, I mean, we got to talk about the Jets. We got to
Yeah.
talk about the Jets. We got to talk about Antonio Brown, and we got to
Antonio
talk about
Brown.
that final play.
Well, Antonio Brown is still technically a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Not
Yeah.
off of
No. He still is.
not from what Arya says.
No. Yes, Bruce Arian has said he's
Arian.
off the team, but they haven't released him yet. There is something going on between the NFLPA and the team that's barring them from releasing him outright. So as we speak right now, yes, Bruce Arian says he's never going to play for Tampa anymore, but technically he's still on the team.
Well, he signed a 1 year deal last season.
This is the
Uh,
Yeah, he did. Um,
what's the deal here? I mean, do we even know what happened exactly? Or is there any kind of reporting? What exactly was the issue?
and
I
he
have
wanted to
not
go.
been able to get up to date.
He wanted to go to the Net game today, so he was at the Nets game. Uh,
No. I want to know what happened in the
okay,
actual football game.
so
I saw that he was at the Nets game with those ridiculous glasses,
yes,
but
exactly.
I need to know what
So
exactly.
it's weird because we were watching the game, and
As good loyal Jets fans would.
absolutely. And the thing about it is that even the announcers didn't know what was going on because you're watching the game and all of a sudden they cut to the end zone and there he is streaking without a shirt. And it's funny because he nearly got tackled by the stadium personnel because they thought he was a guy coming out of the stands and trying to streak onto the field. And
Yeah.
somebody had to tell him, no, that's Antonio Brown, and they chilled. So what ended up happening is he went to the sideline. He was fuming the entire game. Let's put it that way. He was in a mood, and so on one of the particular plays, I think it was in the middle of the third quarter, he ends up going to the sideline, and you see him just trying to take off his
Yeah,
his thing.
yeah.
And
You actually see some of the people on the side trying to calm him down, trying to tell
Mike
him to like,
Evans.
hey,
Mike
yeah,
Evans, one of the receivers, said was trying to calm him down and say, "Dude, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this." And he was like, "Screw it." And then Mike Evans was like, "Whatever, man." Homeboy took off his shirt, his
his
jersey,
padding,
his
everything.
pads, dropped them on. He actually threw them onto the bench. He took off his shirt, he took off his gloves, he threw it into the stands, and then he ran into the locker room while the game was going on. Ran onto the field, went to the end zone, ran across, giving the peace sign to the Jets faithful in the Meadowlands. Well, MetLife Stadium. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
And then he bounced. The reason he's giving is that he had an ankle injury.
Wait, hold on. He's saying that he had an ankle injury, so that's why he was able to just run off the field with this ankle injury. He
Yes, sir.
ran into the end
Yes,
zone,
sir.
started hollering and waving
Yes,
his hands
sir.
and everything with an ankle injury.
Yes, sir.
Is
That's what it is.
is there anything else coming out from the
That
Bucks
is
organization?
that is all I hear. Afterwards, you did hear Bruce Arians said he's never going to play for this
Right.
organization again. You did hear Brady kind of in a very,
Brady
very
seemed to kind of be a little bit on
yes.
Brown's side. He was kind of like, "Hey, man, you guys got to like kind of calm down. Everybody's got like
Well,
issues or whatever, something like that."
he actively campaigned to get him on the team,
Right? Exactly.
so um he I'm gonna put it to you this way: this is the last time we're probably gonna see Antonio Brown on an on an NFL.
Well, we're also probably last season that we're going to see Tom Brady altogether. So
Yeah, so I think the man is done. And it's interesting because Tony Dungy on Football Night in America on Sunday, he had this quote about Antonio Brown. He said, "The NFL, we're not doing him any favors if we keep signing him and keep rewarding this behavior. Don't sign him until he gets some help." So there are some definite issues with Antonio Brown that he needs to kind of square away
yeah,
with
yeah,
himself. And you know what? There is a measure of truth to what Tony Dungy is saying, because one of the things that happen is that when you continue to what's the word I'm looking for? Continue to
act
prop the
out.
guy out, prop him up, give him, like you're enabling his behavior.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You
And
give you give someone like that a stage, and
exactly.
you just don't know what's going to happen once they're on the stage. Once they're on the stage, you can't do anything but try to use a coat hanger to pull them back, right?
Yeah, and it's really a shame because the dude is super talented and
Or
whatnot.
not a coat hanger, a cane, right? Like what they would use in like
The Apollo Theater.
the Apollo Theater, a cane to pull them by the neck. You
Yeah,
know,
just get him out there, do the little dance and whatnot.
I've only seen that in Looney Tunes,
Oh,
but
you gotta go to the Apollo Theater, man. I think it's the Sandman. He comes out. The Apollo Theater, you know how it works, right? It's a talent show. People go up, they either sing and dance or whatever.
yeah,
And if the audience doesn't like them, the Sandman comes out, gets that cane, and pulls them right off the stage. So, you know,
man, that's awesome. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it is what it is.
Well, other stuff happened in that game. To be honest, I need to know what your thoughts are on the final Jets drive, right?
The
Where they
fourth
were
and
fourth
two,
and one. Was it fourth and two? I
it
thought it
was
was fourth
fourth.
and one. I thought it was closer to just 1 yard.
Listen, if it was fourth and one, you and I wouldn't be having the type of discussion we're about to have.
You think so?
It was a fourth and two play, and it was
Well, all right, guys. So let's set this up, right?
yes,
Because we're
let's
under
do that.
we're under 2 minutes. I think it was like a minute 30 something, right? Minute 40 something.
There
Okay,
was
enough
2 minutes
time.
17 seconds, if I
Two
remember
minutes
correctly.
17 seconds. Okay,
Yep.
enough time for. I mean, that's a lot of time for Brady to have the ball. Okay, and
Yes.
the play call was they wanted to hand it off to
So
what's his name?
here's let's set the scene. So the Jets were actually playing their asses off. Part of my
Yeah, I mean when I saw the score and everything, when I'm reading the highlights up until the third quarter, I was like, oh my god, the Jets they're freaking kicking ass.
they were leading the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-10 late into the third quarter. And they were applying pressure, and you're talking about a team that has three Pro Bowlers on their line, and they were applying pressure to Brady. And whenever we put pressure on Brady, that's when he has his hard times. The
Yeah,
Giants exploited that in their two Super Bowl runs, and and you see every time that a team has success against Brady, it's because they make him uncomfortable in the pocket. And that's what the Jets were doing this game. They were actually applying pressure and leading 24-10. Now, Zach Wilson was playing probably the best game of his career so
from
far.
what I understand, this is the best Jets game of the last who knows when.
It has been. They were running the ball
I
competently.
mean, with the exception
Um,
of that I don't want to call it a fluke. I want to use a different term for this, but the Mike F and White game,
yeah,
when
which
those
is
stats
a
came
fluke.
out,
It was a fluke.
yeah, it
It
was a
really
fluke.
was.
It's unfortunate. It's
You know,
unfortunate because That looked like a fun game, but yeah, Zach
Yeah.
Wilson is back and he played his butt off.
He did, and I think you know what the fact that he stayed out with his injury and got a chance to kind of like look at the game from the sidelines is you're seeing the improvement here. You know, he looked like a confident quarterback yesterday. He was hitting his throws, which is something that he hasn't really been doing all season long. And there were a couple of throws there where he really threaded the needle, and you can see the talent that this kid has, and that's why us as Jet fans we're very very excited, right?
I don't normally
Um,
see Jet games,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
am definitely going to sit down and take a look at this game and watch it. I'm gonna actually gonna put my metaphorical big blue jersey somewhere in the corner
Well,
and sit and watch this game because
if you
from
do
I
get a
do want to
chance,
see.
if you do
Yeah.
get a chance to watch it, understand that one of the problems that we had with Zach was, he was playing what we like to call hero ball, right? Zipping the ball when the guy's like 2 feet in front of him. Uh, he didn't master the touch aspect of quarterbacking because a lot of the times either he was slinging it in there at 100 miles per hour or he was doing it too soft and dumping it into the dirt.
Well, I mean,
You know,
he was still playing college ball,
yeah, exactly, exactly. And
So
a lot of times, he was when you had checkdowns that he could have made, he was kind of rolling out of the pocket and going deep. But I digress. He had a very, very good game. The Jets were running the ball. You had pretty much every aspect of the game playing well until we hit the very end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And of course, I go to my wife. We're listening to the game, and I said it's 14 points. That's not enough. We need
not for
more
Brady,
points. Not for
not for
Brady.
Brady.
And sure enough, that's what happened. He got him down, and it brings you to the infamous um, 4th and 2
So the score
play
here is
call.
24-20, right?
Yes.
If I'm not wrong. Okay, we're 4-2. Okay, and with 217, that's a ton of time for Brady, and Brady can
Hmm.
make anything happen with that long of a drive. He knows how to play the clock. He knows how to play
Oh, absolutely.
timeouts, everything. He knows
No,
how to.
but
He knows
there
they
was
didn't
no
have any
timeouts.
timeouts. They
They
had
didn't
no
have any
timeouts.
timeouts.
Yeah,
No.
but he knows how to play the clock. He knows how to get that drive down close enough
Oh yeah.
to make something happen. Right. You have an opportunity to kick and make it a 7 point lead, and you didn't because, again, you guys know that Brady can make it happen. So a 7 point lead wasn't enough.
Right.
If you kick the ball and give it to Brady with that much time, he's just going to bring it down, possibly get a touchdown and field goal and tie the game and go into overtime,
Hmm.
right? So instead, they draw up a play where they want to hand it off to what's the
Braxton
back
Berrios.
Braxton Berrios. Yeah, they had all intentions to hand it off to Braxton Berrios, but apparently they didn't communicate that to Wilson. He
Yeah.
played.
So.
He
Mhm.
played. He ran the play the way that it was designed. It was either hand it off, but if you see an opening, quarterback sneak. Okay, but they didn't tell him that. Like, I know that's the play, but just give it to Berrios.
Yeah,
And Zach
that
Wilson did not get that message.
that's the problem. And it's funny because they called the timeout prior to running that play. And so um there's two things that you take away from this. And I'm a big fan of SNY's Jets game post game, the Jets post game
Hmm.
afterwards. And those guys are incredible in terms of breaking things down. But I think in their criticism, they probably took it a little bit too far because after we got the explanation from Robert Sala, where, like you referenced, he had the play was set up as a quarterback sneak. Okay, that is the main objective of that thing. But really, what the quarterback there is supposed to do is he's got to read the defense. And so, if he sees that the defense is crushing the line, he is supposed to then go to the secondary thing, which would be Braxton Berrios running. I forgot what it is. He's running across the sideline. darn it, I can't remember. I'm feeling really stupid right now because I'm a football guy and I know this, right? But that's supposed to be the secondary play. And so what Zach said is that he saw that nobody was in the A slot. Okay. Now, for football people and for our audience here, I'm going to explain to you what the A slot is. And usually, when you're looking at a defense, the A slot is when a defensive player occupies the space between the center and the guard. Okay, fine. You want to say that he saw that there was nobody there, but the problem here is that you had the nose tackle right above the center. And so when you're looking at this as a quarterback, an experienced quarterback will look at this and say, you know what? Yeah, there's nobody in there, but all it takes is one step for that guy to occupy the A slot.
Right.
That is not a play that you make at that time. First of all, you didn't read the defense. Secondly, okay, you're 4th and 2. You do not run in any way, shape, or form a quarterback sneak with 2 yards. It just doesn't work. That is not what a quarterback's supposed to do. That is not what a quarterback sneak is supposed to do. A quarterback sneak is a yard and under. For him to go over and get into that on the line underneath the center and think that at 4th and 2 you're going to make that with a quarterback sneak? What are you, stupid? That is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. And when I saw the play, I said, what the hell is going on here? Now, the guys in SNY, and I'm going to let you, react to this, but the guys in SNY took it one step further. And they said, you know what? This is the kid showing his ego here. He wanted to be the hero of the game. Because and this is why they're saying what they're saying. Kind of similar to what we're talking about right now. 4th and 2. Tom Brady is one of the best guys at quarterback sneaks in the game right now. Even he is not stupid enough to go 4th and 2 with a quarterback sneak. So they're
but really, who do you put the blame on? Do you put the blame on Zach Wilson, who ran the play, how he was taught to run the play, or do you put it on Robert Saleh and the offensive coach, because the offensive coordinator? Because look, here's the thing, okay, and I actually like Zach Wilson's response to this. Okay, Zach Wilson's response was that, look, he ran the play the way that they played in practice. Okay. Hold on. You're shaking your head. Hold on. He ran the play the way that they practiced it. Okay. They call the play, so he's going to run the play the way that they practiced it. Okay. And he also said that he made the judgment call based on what he saw. And he said that, like, if he had handed off to Berrios, of course, anything could have happened there too. He could have been stopped, and they would have been chiming in on, well, why'd you hand it off to Berrios? Why didn't you, take the quarterback sneak? Like,
Berrios would have walked into the end zone.
We don't know that. That is hold on. What Zach Wilson said is correct. That it's anything. If he had been stopped, let me ask you this: if Berrios had been stopped, okay, would we be upset as Zach Wilson for?
Nope. You know why? Because Berrios was having a hell of a game. And if
we cannot predict what would have happened,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You give the ball to the guys that are playing the best at the time.
That's understandable, but that's not what I'm asking you. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you if Berrios had gotten the ball and he was stopped short of the first down.
I would have been mad. I would not have been mad, because you know what? That way it goes. You've been running the ball like crazy on the Bucks the entire game. Listen, if you run it and you get stopped, stuff happens. But don't tell me that you're going to run a quarterback sneak with 2 yards.
Correct. But again, this is why I say, is this Zach Wilson? Is this Wilson, or is this Saleh?
I think it's all three of them. I think it's...
I don't put it on Wilson at all.
Oh, no.
I don't put it on Wilson at all. I don't put it on Wilson at all. Well, how are you going to put it on Wilson when he's doing his job? They told him, hey, first year quarterback, here's the play that we've been playing, that we've been running in practice. I want you to run that play just like we run it in practice, because they didn't tell him. They didn't. No, because they didn't. Hold on, because they didn't tell him like we run it like this in practice, but hand it off to Barrios. They didn't tell him that. All they said, like, here's the play from practice, run it. He went out and did his job. Okay, you don't kill a messenger, right?
Our quarterback's a moron. Then
no, see, that's terrible. This is ridiculous. This is such a Jets. No. Hold on. This is such a Jets fan thing to do. This guy, he's showing you promise. He's showing you something that we don't have in the Giants, and what a lot of teams that are pining for, some sort of hope with a rookie quarterback. He's showing you some good stuff, and then you're going to call him a moron?
That's
because you're going to
101 though. That's you get taught that in Pop Warner. That is not
goodness. That is not you Jets fans are terrible. Jesus Christ.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why you have audibles, because you know what? You're supposed to go up onto the line.
He's still a rookie.
The defense.
He's still a rookie. He's been reading. All right. Let me ask you this: Do you think that he's not been reading the defense that entire game?
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to go crazy on this one. 4th and 5, and they tell him, okay, here's the play, run a quarterback sneak.
That's a little bit different. First of all, that's a little bit different. No.
Really not. I'm exaggerating it. But
I understand that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Same thing.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, 4th and 5. It's a quarterback sneak with Barrios as an option. He'll probably go to Barrios as an option because it's 5 yards. Of course, that's just a dumb thing to do. But when it's 4th and 2, his job is to have the confidence that in his coach and his coordinator. He's brand new to this game. This is his first year as an NFL quarterback. Like, how can you? I can understand if it's his 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year. Yeah, that's on you, because you have enough experience to know that your coach is doing you wrong here. But this is his first year, and he's been running all the plays that he's been given that entire game, and he's been having success. All right,
you've got the big fatties up on the line here.
I understand that. I understand that.
He's heard of the name Ndamukong Suh. I'm pretty sure he knows who the venue that is. These guys, they weren't hiding their defense. They weren't disguising
that, but it doesn't. Listen. It doesn't matter. Listen, on your very first day on the job of whatever job you've ever had, I guarantee you that even if you felt something was dumb, you still had full faith and confidence that you were doing the right job when your bosses actually asked you to do something. You didn't question anything in your first year at work. You did not question anything that your bosses asked you to do.
Not to them. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I don't aspire to that. You know what? You tell me what to do, and I do it. When I know that it's wrong, I will call it out. And
on your very first job, first year, everything. This is this guy's first NFL quarterback.
He's been playing football for I would have to say over 10 years.
Is the NFL the same as college? Are you really going to say that?
No,
it does matter. Come on,
plays are the same.
Come on, no way. No. Plays are the same. The plays are the same, but the environment is different. Okay,
which makes it even worse. If you see that there's 3 fatties up on the line and they're crowding the line of scrimmage with 7 in the box, and you're gonna run a run play, come on.
I'm not putting that on Wilson. I would put it on Wilson if he has experience. Guess what? He doesn't have experience.
But I'm not putting it all on him.
I understand that, but I wouldn't put it at all on Wilson. I would definitely not call him a moron. I can't believe this. A Giants fan is defending a Jet?
I know, that's crazy.
To a Jet?
Listen,
after the supposed best game that they've played in years?
These are the 3
what the hell?
These are the 3 people I blame for this. You blame LaFleur for calling the play, right? You blame Robert Saleh for looking at the play and saying, "Yeah, this is a good idea," and you blame Zach for not recognizing that the play was doomed to fail. And it's not
I'm sorry. Like, we can agree to disagree. No
option.
way.
It's not like he didn't have a valid option.
No, absolutely, for sure.
It's not like It's not like he went up to the line and they said, well, they only told me I have this. He knows that there's another option. And if you see that they're stacking the front with 7 in the box, any moron would know
No,
you
no, 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 no.
switch
See,
off.
you can't.
You
Oh
switch
my
off.
goodness, this
It's
is
it's
terrible.
a
This is
different
unbelievable. This is
it's a different
unbelievable.
thing. It's
I
a
can't believe
different thing
you. I can't
when
believe you.
you're half a
I
yard
can't
away.
believe you. I can't believe you.
Well, you and I
I
were gonna
cannot believe
agree
you.
to disagree because
I
I
cannot believe that
I
you would
thought that was
call your
crazy.
rookie quarterback a moron for following orders.
I don't need my
Unbelievable.
I don't need my quarterback to be a mindless guy.
I
He
understand
needs
that, but
this
it's
is part of the
understandable. There's a margin of error in your rookie year. Okay,
mm,
I can excuse it, just like we're excusing everything that Salah has done this year because why? Oh, it's his first year as a head coach over here at the
yeah,
Jets. Okay,
but
I'm not
there's
I'm not saying that. See, Robert Salah, even though he's being excused for this season, okay, he still has a lot more to be accountable for because he's been a head coach for how long, or he's
but
been coaching for how long?
he hasn't made any egregious plays that make me question his decision making. I haven't seen anything like that.
He's
You
made
know.
some terrible time decisions. He's made some terrible
Oh
timeout
well,
decisions.
yeah,
He's
okay.
made some
That
terrible coaching decisions, including this play that he called.
well, he didn't call it. It was a
Well, he
Florida
didn't
call.
call it. He agreed. He okayed it.
Yeah,
Whatever. The
he
buck
should have
stops. In my opinion, the buck
he
stops
should have stopped.
always stops with the head coach.
Yeah,
Okay, but
I
he's
agree
being
with that.
excused. How can you excuse the season and a bunch of other things that he's done because it's your first year as a coach. We'll see next year. We're gonna make sure if you're making the same mistakes next year, that's a different story. How are we doing that for him? But we're calling Zach Wilson a moron.
Because this isn't you're not he's not staring down at a single high safety that's disguising a cover two. You know, we're not he's not looking at a 46 that drops three into the zone and stuff. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a play that's a run play designed first, and he's seeing the entire Bucks team, including the water boy, and the guy that drives the truck up on the line.
Oh
Okay,
my goodness.
that's
I
the difference.
understand. I
That's the
understand that it's
difference.
a mistake that he made. Okay.
That's the
But
difference.
I'm not gonna freaking, you know, put him out to roast like that.
I actually think Bruce Arian was lined up as the Sam linebacker in that play.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
I really do think
You
so.
know,
You know,
like I can't believe you. I can't believe that you're a Jets fan and that I'm defending, the guy that actually made you guys look good this weekend.
listen, I'm a football guy first. I played football back in high school. You know what I'm saying? So when I see stuff like this, it drives me nuts because this for me is like football 101. You know, and
Yeah,
to
but
put it to
it's a
put it
whole different monster. It's a whole different monster to be there. Now you have to put this in perspective, okay? Not only is he playing in the NFL, okay? Not only is he having the best game he's ever played in the NFL, okay? But he's doing it against Tom Brady. Okay, the emotions, the psychology behind everything. I guarantee you that in his mind, he's like, man, I'm having the best game. I'm doing this against Tom Brady. We're doing things right. You know what? I'm gonna have full faith in my coaching, and I'm gonna do what
man.
they say.
You know
Okay.
what what drives me nuts also as like I said, if he had given that ball to Braxton, that at the very least was an easy first down. All the dude had to do was fall forward and he would have had a first down. That's how wide open he was. I rewinded that play at least 10 times and I'm looking at the entire thing. All he had to
Right.
do was
I
hand it off.
understand.
He
I
would he
understand.
would have
Yeah.
gone straight for the pylon. There was nobody around him. Braxton Berrios would have walked in.
We don't know
Walked.
what would have and could have happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll
We
never
don't.
know. We'll
I
never know
understand that,
because Zach
but
decided on a 4th and 2. Hey, quarterback sneak sounds good.
oh no, no, no. Zach didn't decide that. Okay, LaFleur decided that.
Yeah, agree to disagree. Let's talk about
Unbelievable.
let's talk about the very end because you know what, that another was another defensive mistake by the Jets there, and again rookies, and you know what, this is growing pains all along the board with the Jets here because that that last play to Brady with I forgot the wide receiver, but you know what, the Bucks are kind of in trouble here because they have basically no wide receivers left. You know, I think Mike Evans is there, but you look at Chris Godwin and now Antonio Brown is gone. They're gonna have a bit of trouble in the
Yeah,
playoffs
I mean,
here.
it kind
You
of
know,
sucks, man. It's kind of crazy, right? Because it's like Antonio Brown's going to walk off the field on the year that, like, if he stays on, there's a
hey,
very big likelihood that, like, he would get another Super Bowl chip. You know
exactly.
what I
You
mean?
know.
It's crazy to me because, like, I think that it's expected to be what's the likelihood? It's going to be well, before the whole Antonio Brown things, I think that the odds were Patriots versus Bucks.
I still like Green Bay over the Bucks right now, especially the way that that team is playing. But yeah, you
Yeah,
know, you can make the case that the Bucks could have been there also. You know,
yeah.
but with all the injuries and all the things that are going on with that team, it's looking less and less likely that we're going to see Brady in the Super Bowl. But then again, you never bet against Brady, right?
Never bet against Brady
Never against Brady. So
unless
that
he's playing
last
Eli Manning.
Yeah, I know. But that last play again, it was a mistake, rookie mistakes here because you know what?
You
Um,
said it, rookie mistakes.
yeah, I know, but you know what? This one is a matter of and this is part of Brady here because Brady's brilliance is being able to look off people. So, you know, if you look at the way that play transpired, it was basically an out route, and you know, the guy is a track star. Know your personnel when you're playing against these guys because the safety was responsible for both the sideline guy and the guy that was streaking. The problem there was is that that safety, and I believe his name was Elijah Riley, and I have to look back at that. But the problem there is that once he saw that the first guy in the slot made a beeline toward the sideline, at that point you gotta go after the guy that's streaking down the sideline, and he took a horrible angle to the guy. I mean, in in that particular case, you go toward the pylon and meet the guy there. And if I guarantee you, if he had done that, that guy would not have caught the ball. Instead, he went straight to the sideline. The guy overran him, and game's over. He
Yeah,
walks right by him,
yeah.
grabs the ball. It's a touchdown. So you know, these are things that with the defense they're going to get straightened out, you know. And like I said, it sounds like I'm trashing the Jets right now,
You are.
but well, I'm trashing them for one play because you know what, the annoyance is that that's a play that could have won them the game, and you know it was a lack of football awareness, you know, on three people's parts that caused this game to end the way it did. But overall, you gotta like the way the Jets are kind of progressing here, especially at the end of the season here.
I
Um,
guess it doesn't sound like it, but I guess that's what I was gonna say. I was going to say that. I was
yeah,
gonna say you gotta like the trajectory that the Jets are going. I wish we had that kind of trajectory. You know, this is actually the kind of trajectory that we expected this year out of Daniel Jones and Joe Judge and Jason Garrett and everything. So,
oh, Jason Garrett, please, thank God he's gone.
oh yeah, you think so? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I don't like him
I
as a coach at
understand.
all.
I
You know,
didn't either. I didn't either. And I was one of the people that were saying, like, he's got to go. He's the reason that we suck. Okay. But guess what? We have been playing worse offensively since he's been gone.
who's the offensive coordinator now? You
Uh,
know?
Not off the top of my head, man.
Okay,
I'm
I
terrible
guess
with
it
names.
doesn't
So
matter. You know,
it doesn't matter because, hopefully he's done too. But, it's just, this is, it
they
hurts
really
so
need to.
much. You know what I mean? It sucks
You
so much that the Giants are playing the way that they are. We haven't had an actual real season because Daniel Jones can't seem
can't
to stay
stay on the
healthy
field.
enough. He can't stay on the field, but he also can't stay on the field because we have a terrible. I don't know if it's the chicken and the egg type thing. Is it Daniel Jones that seems to just be kind of a little bit flimsy, or is just that our O line is so bad that he keeps getting hurt? You know. I maybe it's I would
Maybe it's
assume
a
it's a
combination of
combination of
both.
the
Yeah.
two. He doesn't have enough protection. Neither does Glennon. I mean, it's obvious that he doesn't have any protection. Look at what happened in the first drive of this past weekend's game. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. It doesn't help, and this was kind of one of the reasons why I don't like Jason Garrett as a coach. I remember, and I think I mentioned this to you, and I can't remember the name this earlier this season, but your guy is literally coming off of a concussion, right? I think
Right.
he missed time for concussion
Yeah, he
this
missed time.
week, right?
Yeah, he has missed time. Yeah.
And so, so what the geniuses and and the Giants coaching staff do? They put him on a bootleg, and the guy gets smacked in the head. The very next game he comes back. I mean,
Yeah.
these are the things that you don't put your guys in harm's risk like that, especially if he's coming off of concussion protocol. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
these
thankfully
these
he
are the things
continued
that
playing that game. If I'm not mistaken, he
oh
came out for a little bit. He came out for a little bit, but he continued playing that game. If I'm not mistaken, but still, regardless, I mean, I even so, I don't think that Daniel Jones is it. I don't think that he's the answer.
no,
I think that he could have been the answer if we had the right tools, the right protection, and the right coaching. I don't think that we have the right coaching. I know that they sing the God's grace and praises for Joe Judge and everything. I still don't see it.
you
Um,
don't think Glennon's the guy?
no, no, come on. I mean, to be fair,
You know what his
it's
record is, right? Mike
I have
Glennon.
no idea what his record is. I
It,
don't want to know. I think
his
it's something like
career, his career
what is it
record,
like something in 75, something like that.
6-25, and he is in the midst of a 10-game losing streak.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
So this is the guy
look,
you
the thing
brought
is,
in as a backup. You know,
yeah, I know. I think that this is one of the stupidest things that they could have done. It's like, hey, we're going to take this rookie quarterback and then not give him any kind of, proper backup, nobody to be in the locker room to give him any kind of guidance, nothing.
I
Basically, the
just
Giants went out and said, like, hey, you know what the Jets did last year? Let's do that. Let's do what the Jets did. Let's be the Jets. That's basically what the Giants did, and I think
uh, that.
it hurts my soul
Did you
so
watch the
much.
game? Did you
No, I
watch the
absolutely
game?
did not watch the game. I heard the game. I heard like the first quarter, and then I stopped hearing the game.
Negative
Uh,
10 passing yards for the entire game.
oh God, Jesus Christ!
Negative 10.
How do you even do that? Do you throw the ball in reverse? Did you turn
I,
around and throw the
I,
ball
I guess.
backwards?
I
Like that
guess.
doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Like I said, I just don't understand how Glennon still has a job in this league. He's
Well,
been
because
and like I said, I mentioned the fact that he's lost his last 10 games in the time he started his career with Tampa Bay, ironically, right? Um, and he then transitioned to Chicago. He went to Jacksonville, and now he's with the Giants. With those three teams, he has one win under his belt. With
look,
those three teams,
I feel bad for the guy. I feel
why
bad
was
for the
that
guy, but
why was that the
he
guy for you guys? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, I think to me he's like a practice squad guy, if anything. Someone to take the lumps and bruises during practice.
Bet you who does
I
that now.
don't know how he's the number two guy. But then again, I don't know why the Giants do the things that the Giants are doing. The Giants. I'm sorry. I'm gonna. Despite how good Zach Wilson and the team played this week, and the Giants are doing Jets moves here.
Yeah, no,
These are
that's
things that
true.
the Jets have been doing for years, and everybody, including every single Giants fan, is like, "Yo, how stupid could you guys be?" And then look at us.
Yeah,
Look at us wearing the gangrene dunce cone on our head right now. Like,
it's
what the
true.
hell is going on? I don't understand. But yeah, I don't think that Daniel Jones is the guy because I think that there's got to be a full replacement for the coaching staff, and I think that the guy that we have to go into another full rebuild. Basically, we have to do what the Jets are doing right now.
Yeah.
Dan Jones, I think he's gonna, if anything, if he's gonna stay with the Giants, I think he's gonna be the number two guy. He should be the number two guy.
You know what
You
I
know,
really what I really think is going to happen. First of all, Joe Judge really needs to go. I don't know. I'm a guy that likes to listen to press conferences. Um, his press conference was absolutely horrendous. I
Well,
mean,
with the press conference stuff, I would actually be kind of like a Joe Judge guy if I was the head coach and I was
did
giving
you
press
hear him
conferences.
this week
No,
though?
no, no, I didn't hear him, but the thing is, I've heard enough press conferences to know that all press conferences are the same. He doesn't.
No, not this one.
This one, I know that this one he went and like he went on like a long
11
rant.
minutes.
Yeah,
11 minutes.
11-minute rant about like he still sees fight. He sees like good things, even though like anybody like people don't see, but like improvements week by week and this that, and the other. And I know that he um
He literally said that people want to come to the Giants. Like
Yeah,
he
I don't.
literally
He
said,
says that he's getting phone calls from people like, "Man, I wish I could follow you to the Giants or whatever."
I
That I would love to see proof of that. But
yeah, I mean,
up until that press conference, Joe Judge is the kind of guy that doesn't like to divulge what's happening in the locker room and divulge what's happening in the meetings. He doesn't.
he's
He's the
living
kind of
in
guy.
he's living in another reality. I'm sorry. There's one thing to say, you know what, I'm a rah-rah type of guy, and there's another one to try and say, you know what you're seeing is not actually happening.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, the thing is, like, I don't think that he's fibbing. I don't think that he's lying and going out there and saying like, "Hey, we got guys that want to come here and nobody's calling him." I don't think that that's the case. I think that maybe there are guys that are, within circles. They're talking about like what plans they got and this, that, and the other. Obviously, before this past weekend's game, and yeah, maybe there's guys that are like, man, I would love to play with you, someday, on the Giants. Who knows? We don't know the relationship that he has because he does happen to have like some sort of respect within the league across players and owners and so on and so forth.
I don't know about it.
I don't know where he gets the respect, but he somehow has it. Okay. And it's something that we as fans we're not seeing, but they see. So maybe he is getting these calls, but you don't say that. You keep that to yourself. I know that he probably said that out of frustration that he keeps having to like answer the same questions week after week. But
Part of the
play better
job.
then.
It's
Play
part.
better.
Yeah, exactly.
You
It's
know?
part of. Listen, answering questions is part of the job.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean it's such an
Eh,
abysmal game. I've never been embarrassed to be a Jets fan up until this past weekend.
Giants fan.
Giants fan. Oh my God, Jesus
Giants, Giants,
Christ! I'm
Giants.
I'm
We
being
we
turned.
move
I'm
we moved
turning.
on
Oh
from the
my
Jets already.
goodness, Jesus Christ!
We're on Big
No,
Blue. We're
you
on
know
Big
what it
Blue now.
is? We're playing so bad, so like the Jets that I've.
Okay, we get the point. We get the
Hold on,
point.
no, no, no. You have to understand that like my mind this entire weekend was like, we are the Jets, okay, and now clearly my brain thinks that we're the Jets.
Yeah.
This is
They are
horrendous. Oh
they
my
are
goodness.
they are a complete mess. And you know, this is what I really think is going to end up happening. I do think that Joe Judge is going to come back for another year. I do think that Daniel Jones is going to be your quarterback for another year.
You know what? I want to say that I hope not, but I also don't think so. I think Russell Wilson's coming. I think that he's
You
coming.
and I disagree on that and stuff. So
I think that he's coming.
I think
I
you'd
think that
be
he's gonna
crazy.
come. I think that he's just like, you know what, screw it. I just want to go out there and have fun because you want to know why? That's what I'm seeing from a lot of football in this season specifically. They're like they're just like, screw it, let's go. 4th and 5, and let's go for the 2 point conversion. I've never seen as many special teams plays and
Oh yeah.
2 point
Oh yeah.
conversions as this year. I feel like they're all like, I just want to have fun now, sort of, in a sort of some sort of way.
It's
And I
been a
think that
very
like Russell,
wacky season.
yeah, and I think that like the wacky season will also cause some wacky decisions too. I think Russell Wilson's like, you know what? Let me go to the Giants. Let me see, because what's the worst that can happen? He comes to the Giants for a year. It
And then
doesn't work
leaves.
out. It doesn't work out, and he's like, well, my stock isn't going down. He can still go wherever he wants.
See,
Okay.
you're right in that it's a wacky season, and you're right in that Russell Wilson would be wacky to come here. Um, you look at the team. The team is nowhere near. This is not a team that's a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl. First of all, second of all, you look at the general manager and the head coaching situation, which is not a good one. Joe Judge as well liked as you say he is around the league, he hasn't shown that he's got the metal to be a great coach. The general
Sure, and I
manager
understand that.
hasn't the general manager hasn't shown any capacity on getting in good players on
Yeah,
the
but
team.
Gettleman is
So,
gone after this season, and we're going to have
right,
a new general manager. You know what I
but
mean? I
you
understand that the general manager is going to be probably some sort of a puppet, but I think that Russell Wilson says that, like, all right, if you get this general manager, I'll come. I think that they'll make that decision. I think that it's going to
you
happen.
you also have to look at that salary cap situation that the Giants are going to find themselves in.
I think
He's
that we'll
going
be
to.
fine. There, though,
Uh,
I know that our cap is terrible, but I know that they can shed weight. If it's Russell Wilson, you'll find a way. With the amount of picks that we have, they'll find a
but
way to like.
you're gonna get rid of those picks.
I understand, but they may not get rid of all the picks. We just need to get rid of 3 of the picks, and then we need to, do some trades, be funny with the cap, and we'll be all right. We just need
So
to. I think that we need to do anything and everything to get Wilson in.
I agree.
Okay,
But
right? He comes in.
what
He
is the
comes in.
impetus?
Now the team is going to be enticing for other players to come in to get the right tools, to get the right protection, to get the right people in there.
So what is the impetus for Seattle to trade Russell Wilson to New York?
I mean, Russell Wilson is on the border. He's borderline pulling a Harden,
No, I agree, but you know
and
what?
I think that like they don't
Here-
have an impetus, but at the same time, here's the thing. Here's the impetus.
Who
Okay,
who do they get
here's
in
the impetus.
return?
Here's the impetus.
You know,
Okay, for Seattle, they're gonna have to do a rebuild within the next couple of years anyway.
but this ain't
Okay,
the year to do it.
but why not do that rebuild with the amount of picks that they can get from the Giants?
But that's the problem, and see, that's the problem that the Giants fall themselves into. This is not the year to do it, and it's ironic that the Giants find
This is not the
themselves in
year
this
to
position
this
because
this could
this
possibly be the year that they started. Okay, you can use these picks to trade, or you can either use the picks that you get from the Giants to trade around, okay, and kind of start building a little bit in preparation for the following year, or you start adding some decent rookies and stuff, and you get yourself the real rebuild the next season.
who's the
Okay,
quarterback for Seattle?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't care less about Seattle. You know what I mean?
That has to be
Joe Flacco.
Imagine
Hey, I mean,
him and his COVID self. Get over there. You know what I mean?
maybe they trade Dan Jones over there.
Why would you take him?
I don't know. It
That's
doesn't matter to me. I could
that,
care less. I could care less how we get Russell Wilson as long as we get Russell Wilson.
but you gotta figure out a way on how
He
to
even
get him.
looks.
You
He
know what I'm
looks
saying?
good in a Giants uniform too.
I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. I listen. I personally don't think Russell Wilson has a snowball's chance in hell to come to New York.
Wow.
I really don't. I
All
don't.
right.
I've never believed it from the start.
Be ready to eat your words.
All right, here it is. It is, what time is it? 11:30 Monday, January 3rd. We've got it on tape here. I am saying Russell Wilson will not be a Giant. You heard it here first. Heard it here first. You know?
We'll see. We
yeah,
will see about that.
We will see. So, right now, I'm looking at the score here. Let's see how Ben is doing, because it is, like I said, it's 11:30. It is 19-14. So the Browns are showing a little bit of fight here. We're in the fourth quarter with a minute left, and Big Ben has the ball. So it looks like he's going to win this game. Last game for him on Heinz Field, and
I hope so too. That's kind of like he's getting the treatment that I wish Eli had gotten. Like, let him go out on his sword. Let him play the last home game, of the season. No, they didn't do that to him.
Yeah,
They're like, oh no, he's done. He's old. He can't But look at him now. Like, we got a quarterback that can't do anything. Like, think about it. We spent all these years with Eli not missing a single game due to injury, and we're like, hey, let's replace him with this guy that can't play a single season without an injury, without missing a game.
True. That's true. He hasn't gone through
man.
season. But you know what? Russell Wilson, to me, and you'll probably appreciate this analogy. he to me is like that old samurai Ronin warrior, that he's on his last legs, and he's had the story, honorable career,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is him walking into the sunset. So you know what? I'm it looks like he's going to win this game. It literally does. And I think he does deserve the accolades. I think he's
yeah,
had an incredible career, and I really do hope he makes the playoffs, because you know what? It'd be fun to see him
yeah. It would be
flinging that
great. I
ball
mean,
that ball around, you know what I mean? And
hey man, I mean, look, like
trucking people.
if anybody has had a storied career similar to that of Eli's, it's Roethlisberger. I know he's had, better records, better numbers, but he comes from the same class of Eli. He also has two Super Bowl championships.
Yeah.
He's going out the way that Eli should have gone out,
It's funny. Philip
So
Rivers was probably, you can make the case that he was probably the most talented of the three, but he did not
yeah,
enjoy the success that these other two guys
he
have,
did not. Yeah,
you
he
know.
did not. He did
So
not.
it just goes to
No, it's
show
a
you.
lot of it. It's not just talent; it's also
Yeah,
synergy.
exactly.
The only reason Tom Brady is Tom Brady is because of the talent that he has around him, and the synergy that he has with the players, which is why he worked so hard to get the players that he did in order to win that Super Bowl last year.
I know
So,
we're wrapping up, but just answer me this one question: Brady or Rodgers for MVP?
ooh, I mean, it's got to be Rodgers. Rodgers is having one of the a hell of a year.
I'm
First
surprised
of
you
all,
say that.
and second of all, I'm a Giants fan. I will never ever give Brady credit for anything. So,
Okay.
and I really just, and I'm not even joking about that. I mean, I can go into a rant, but Brady isn't Brady if it's not for the people around him.
Eh,
Okay,
eh.
you know, and that's it. There's a reason. Brady. It would be one thing if he went down to the Bucks and like, hey, I'm gonna do it with this team, but no, he had to get Gronk. He had to get Antonio Brown. He had to get all the pieces that he wanted because he knew that he couldn't be Brady without them. He's like, you know what? Like I did all this stuff at the in New England, but I did it with these guys. Now let me go to the Bucks. Let me do everything. Let me take everything that I learned from Belichick and the New England Patriots, the Patriot way. Let me bring that down to the Bucks, but let me
Mhm.
also bring a few Patriots with me too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess
If
you
he
could you
goes
could
down
make
there,
the
if he
case.
goes down there and he does it on his own, then I would have been like, you know what? You're the Michael Jordan. You're the LeBron James. You know what I
But you
mean?
also you also have to remember, in his time with New England, he really never had superstar receivers aside from maybe Randy Moss. I mean,
Randy Moss. I mean,
yeah, but you look, Randy Moss he played with him like what, 3 4 years.
I
The
understand.
rest of them was Julian Edelman, and I
I
forgot the
understand
other
that.
little
I,
guy.
I, I understand that. But the thing is, it's not just the superstar tools that you have. It's I'm gonna go down there and bring the Patriots way, but I need people to help me change the culture of this team to what I learned and what I had up there.
Well, that's kind of with all sports. I mean, that started really with LeBron James in the
Right.
NBA. With the
Uh,
decision, right? So,
Well, when LeBron James did that, he didn't do that to form super teams. He went and did the decisions in order to to do his thing. LeBron James did what I think that Brady should have done to get the respect. LeBron James, he went down to Miami, he got his chip, but then he went back to Cleveland and got a chip over there.
hmm
Okay, he did it.
yeah.
He didn't bring any superstars with him to Cleveland, and he did it.
But then he bounced and he did it again.
Yeah, well, because
He went to the Lakers and brought
for sure,
everybody with him. You know what
for
I'm saying?
sure. But he still,
Yeah.
when you do what he has done,
No,
you
I
can do
agree.
that.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
Brady, in my opinion, it's a completely different thing that Brady is doing. Like I do give him credit for what he's done,
hmm
but I don't believe that it's solely Brady, and he gets all the credit without realizing that he wouldn't have done what he did at the Bucks this last year, not this past season, but the previous season, if he didn't bring a few of the Patriots that helped him do it.
Okay. I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to say I think Brady is probably the MVP this year.
No
Um,
way.
only because he's leading the league in yards, he's leading the league in touchdowns, and he is taking that team to a probable Super Bowl berth. We still don't know, but you know what? to your point, let's see what Brady does with all his chips out.
Yeah, let's see
Either
what happens.
suspended or hurt.
Let's see. I think that we're probably going to have another broken Microsoft Surface on the side.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, buddy. I think we're going to call it for this week. This was a fantastic show. We got a little bit sidetracked with the whole Jets talk, but that's okay.
That's not my fault.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think the people would be confused with who's a Jets fan and who's not.
And yeah, I know, right? And just so that you know, we have a final here in Pittsburgh. It is Pittsburgh 26 and the Browns 14. So Roethlisberger does get his
congratulations
on his home field.
To Big Ben.
There you go. All right. So on that note, we are going to call it. Remember that the arena, we are on your favorite podcast on Tuesday morning. So please be sure to check us out. And we'll be back with another episode where we argue about the Jets and the Giants next Tuesday. And so until then, guys, we bid you adieu, right?
I don't think that that's the call sign that we're going to be using, but
we're still working on that. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess so. Maybe.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Later, people.
Peace.